William here, Patriot Containers. Today is Tuesday, the 10th. This video, I want to say something nice about one of these shitbag companies. There's always been bad container sellers. If you ask me, I think 95% of cargo container companies are lying about everything. And there are very, very few good companies. What I noticed after COVID was three main companies that I've been reporting on. Can't report on them all because there's probably thousands and thousands of container companies across the United States. And I'm sure they're all guilty of the same thing. A lot of sales, late deliveries, a lot of lies, shitty containers, and the companies are never accountable because of their terms and conditions protect the company, not the customer. And there's bad containers, there's good containers, and then there's new containers. But in my videos, what triggered my videos was hearing the stuff that they were saying to you to make a sale, but they weren't honoring with what they were saying. So I'll say with what they say really quick: 60 or 90 day full refunds, money back guarantees. Sounds great. It's not. Only pay on delivery. This whole only pay on delivery thing. I read the complaints. I read with what people are saying about these companies. So if you pay on delivery, they're gonna not. If you don't pay anything, they ain't showing up. But you have to put a credit card on file, and then they're going to charge your credit card for $1 or $3. But then you're also going to accept their terms and conditions. You're most likely also going to pay 3% for using your card, but they're going to charge your card when they get there. The catch is, though, is if you reject that container, if it's crappy, or if you cancel, you're still going to get a cancellation fee. If you reject a crappy container, now they're going to keep your delivery money, a restocking fee, and a cancellation fee. But these companies do give you incentives, so you call them because it says cash on delivery, but they don't accept cash on delivery. But when you call them, the sales rep's going to try to give you an incentive to pay up front, pay by Zelle, pay by wire transfer. Those are the worst ways for a customer to pay for anything, and you should not do that. Lifetime warranty on parts, lifetime warranty on support, lifetime warranty on leaks, 10-year frame warranty, 25-year structural warranty. It's all the same crap. These companies will always get complaints until they stop saying that. But out of the three main companies that I bring you this useful information from, and plus I used to work for companies like this 13 years ago, my business was started to actually tell the truth and deliver on the right day, and then show up with good used and good new. That's it. You want to buy a piece of crap? My conversation is over. I don't believe you want a piece of crap. I believe you want to be lied to, and you want to hear all this BS for a low price and then deal with the problems later. Or you don't know what you're getting into, but you didn't want to listen to me. So I can't help people that don't want help. That being said, what I wanted to say nice though is in the beginning of my videos, I talk about Pinocchio rookie number 1. And that is the company that's been around for maybe 5, maybe 6 years. And they have the most complaints I've ever seen in a cargo container company, hands down. They are the number one company I've ever seen with the most complaints. And by the way, they still say this stuff. But I haven't seen a complaint on that business in months. So I'm hoping that my information that I'm putting out about these companies has finally woken up some of these owners and they go, hey, you know what? He is right. We do need to change this. We can change this. They'll never change their terms and conditions because they will screw up in the future. They can change the future, but they can't change the past of all the complaints that they have gotten. The only way to run away from your past is by changing your business name. I don't think these companies can change their business name. Peon companies can change their name very easy. All they do is stop selling out that name and reopen a new name, and business as usual. The mistake that these types of companies have made is they built their name up so big that they can't change the name. They're proud of that name. But, so anyways, there's a couple scenarios here. I want to tell you something. I want to give you a good example. Before COVID and before Joe Biden, I don't have a single employee, and I used to sell 130 to 90 to 130 containers every single month. I typically, on an average, make $500 on every container that I sell. If you buy 10, my profit's going to be $250 or $300. Still the same paperwork. I'm just making a ton more money. And a ton more work, too, because I have to deal with 10 deliveries. But if you do the math, before COVID and before these shitbag companies came out, I was making probably around $50,000 every month. That's not sales, that's profit. But I also provide a real service that is done correctly. So if you guys got companies that you're calling and they have like 90 or 70 sales reps across the United States sitting at home doing this, imagine the money that they are making. Now, do they have a lot more overhead? Do they have to pay commissions? Do they own their own trucks? My overhead is very, very low. It just is. I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't like headaches. I want efficiency and customer satisfaction. And I want easy, how do I say this? It's not that I want easy business. I just want things to be simple and smooth and friendly. I would hope customers want that too, but some customers are a pain in the ass. So you got to pick and choose your battles. That's why I don't sell to people that say, hey, I don't care about how this looks. I don't need to hear anything you have to say. Just give me your price. Well, that guy's aggressive right in the very beginning. Why would I want to take his order and deal with his bullshit later? So, my business, I can choose to say, hey, I don't sell the container you're asking me for, but I do sell good containers. Do you want to spend more on a better container that's like $100 or $200 more? No. Okay, well then I don't think I want your business. Because you said you're already a headache, and I haven't even taken your order. And you're already very aggressive and angry too. But yeah, I like people that, I don't know how to say this. I feel like I sell to smart people that get it, and I don't sell to dumb people that are just ignorant. But my point being is, these companies can fix their problems. They just need to pay for it. They have the money. Now, the other two container companies that I report on, the one that sued me, and the one that's also been around for 16 or 17 years, these guys have this rule set up in place of no, 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 and they don't budge. And it's greed. They don't want to lose a couple $100 or $1,000 to make a customer happy. They would rather have a complaint. I don't understand that. And that's the part that these companies can change. Maybe the Pinocchio Rookie #1 company that I was reporting on for a while, they would get complaints and horror stories constantly. I haven't seen a complaint from them, from the BBB, Yelp, Google at all in like 2 months. It feels like an eternity, to be honest. And that's kind of weird too, for 2 months to feel like it's an eternity of them not getting a complaint. Either their sales are slowing down and people aren't buying from them. Or maybe people are actually investigating these companies more and they're going, hey, we saw your shitty reviews. We're not giving you the business, and they're going to buy somewhere else. Or B, they're still saying the same garbage to make money, except for they are handling their problems. Or maybe they figured out their delivery process and actually getting the containers to these customers in a timely fashion that was promised to the customer, or B, they're actually purchasing better containers. I don't know. One thing though is I noticed that a lot of these companies stopped getting the positive reviews that were coming in so fast. They just kind of stopped. I never believed that all these companies are getting these many. Companies that say this stuff and they sell junk, they get complaints like crazy. But if that's how your business is, you're not going to get positive positive reviews just every minute of the day. And so that has stopped. And so I don't know if these companies are selling less. I don't know if the company they're purchasing fake 5-star reviews has stopped posting for them, or maybe Google caught on and then banned that account or whatever. I just don't know. But things are actually changing. And that was the point of my videos. I don't want to sit here and take credit for that Pinocchio rookie #1, why they haven't got complaints, but I really do hope that the business owner actually, because you either care about your business or you don't. You either care about your customers or you don't. If you don't care about your customers and you don't care if you have complaints, you're going to run a shitty business. If you do care about your customers and you actually care about your company, you're going to fix the problems that you have and do this right. It all comes down to greed. You're either really greedy, really snaky, really or a really big liar to make sales, and you make way more money. But if you're making so much money, why can't you fix the problems that you have? Why can't you make things right before your customers complain? Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand about these companies is the money's coming in for them. They're not broke. And they literally are choosing not to help you. They're screwing up everything after your order, and they're saying, you know what? Sorry, this is what our terms and conditions says. We are not budging for you. Well, that's why they get complaints. If the companies sold these containers with truth and no misleading and actually explained with what these containers look like, they would get less complaints. If they delivered on the right time and they actually had employees to take an order and do the scheduling correctly, they would get less complaints. If they screw up and they say, hey, you know what? We are sorry. This is our fault. We will fix this at our expense. How do I say this? It's a fact that I don't have any complaints from any buyers in 11 years. I literally do not have one. I just don't. But that doesn't mean I've never had unhappy customers. I've had them. You just got to take care of the situation accordingly and not run away from your problems. You don't run away from your customers, you run to them. These companies that I'm warning you they take your, how do I say this? I've read this so many times and I know exactly because I have worked for companies like this. Let's say you're shopping for a container and you call 10 different companies. 9 of those companies are going to call you 5 times a day by 10 different sales reps, emails, blah, 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 Facebook. They are going to attack you from all angles to take your money. That's how aggressive these companies are. Oh, hi, what's your name? What's your credit card number? I'm like, oh my God, I never ask people for a credit card number. I say, hey, whenever you're ready, call me. I'm here. If we're low on inventory and you need a specific container, I'm going to tell you, hey, you should buy this before it's gone. That's as aggressive as I get. I've been doing this for 13 years. I'm tired. I don't want to chase business. I don't want to be I don't want to pester people. I don't want to annoy people. I want to sell to people that either believe me or they don't. But my point being is, when you're when you're shopping, you have all these people coming at you at all different angles. But once your order is in place and you've already given them the order, they just disappear. And when you have a company that is 95% sales and only 5% employees that actually do the job, all it is sales, 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 sales. And the 5% of people that work at these employees can't keep up with all the sales. And they don't offer a real service on the back end. So it's basically a sales or a closing company, and then everything else on the back end is dog shit. These companies can fix it though. I've always thought about when I used to work for companies like this, I have OCD and I know how to fix things that are broken. I see things that are broken and I go, well, if it's broken, fix it. If you don't break it, if you don't fix it, it gets worse and worse and worse. And all you're doing is just going deeper and deeper and deeper into a mess. A lot of these companies that I'm warning you of, their companies are such a mess that in order to fix it, they would have to stop sales for probably about 30 days and have a team come in and just do one order at a time, one order at a time. Hello, customer, we're so sorry. We're fixing this. We're on it. And actually sit down and figure out a system that works. Because the system that they have on bringing you the containers, it doesn't work. They don't have a good system. They probably have some internet database where you have employees just sitting doing emails all day and the work is not in front of their face. And so they have to go through some. I've noticed that when you deal with employees that are strictly looking at like some type of a software program on a computer, they're not as efficient as actually hands-on work. And that's what I do. I do hands-on work. And if something needs to be done, it's on my desk. But my job is to get the work off of my desk so it's completed. And that's part of my OCD is if I had this much of paperwork on my desk, I'm freaking out. That's a lot of work that needs to be done. Well, get the job done so the work is not on your desk. When you take an order, get the container to your customer as soon as possible so you can file the paperwork away and make that customer happy and do the job right and then focus on more work. You got to finish the work you have before you start more work. My wife's very guilty of that. She'll start something, not finish it, start this, not finish it, start this, not finish it, start this, and not finish it. But me, I am so focused on once I start something to giving it 110% to finish the job and then start more business. I've been very, very successful doing that for a long, long time. I have a system that actually works and these companies don't. So anyways, the nice thing I wanted to say about these crappy companies is one of the companies I look at every day and I just don't see any more complaints. Maybe they figured it out. Maybe they're not making more sales. Who knows? Some of these companies, if you guys actually ever looked into them, and actually read their complaints and read their terms and conditions, you wouldn't buy from these companies, but they're hiding that from you. They don't want to show you that. If you say, hey, can you send me your company information? Do you think they're going to send you anything negative? No, they're not. They're going to send you everything positive and blind you with fake 5-star reviews, but they're not going to tell you their terms and conditions. They're not going to tell you all the complaints that they have on a regular basis. So anyways, guys, probably dragged that on way too long. Have a good one. It's Tuesday the 10th. Goodbye.